Starting off this countdown, we have the Adidas shoes. Now, this is a famous case of supposed time travel. A couple of years ago, an ancient mummy was unearthed in Mongolia. Nothing was too off about the mummy, besides the fact that she wore shoes that looked like Adidas trainers. The shoes had red and black stripes on it. I personally don't see the resemblance with the shoes, but others are convinced that this body belongs to a time traveler. Upon analyzing the body further, they found that it belonged to a woman who died from a blow to the head. It's theorized that this woman may have indeed have been a time traveler and was killed after her identity was leaked. What else could explain the fact that this woman was found wearing Adidas? Just a little tip, if you're going time traveling, don't wear Nike or Adidas. Moving on to number 9, we have The Fight. A video of Mike Tyson's fight from 1995 went viral online for containing supposed proof of a time traveler. In the background of the video, you can see a man who appears to be recording or taking photos of the fight on an iPhone or another modern camera phone. The fight was in 1995 and camera phones were not sold until the 2000s. As a result, many people are convinced that the man in the audience is a time traveler, who I guess is a fan of Mike Tyson. What also tripped people out is the fact that the main cameras used in the 90s were the ones with the lenses in the middle. This camera is clearly lacking that. However, others believe that the man is not a time traveler and in fact was just taking a photo on a camera known as the Casio QV10A. Even though it's been potentially debunked, there are people out there that don't believe it for a second. In our 8th spot, we have the Mohawk Man. It's like, where's Waldo with these photos? Except you're looking for the person that doesn't belong. So this next image is apparently from 1905 and shows workers and a banana boat delivering goods. However, near the boat there appears to be someone standing there in a white t-shirt rocking a Mohawk style haircut, which is a very unusual haircut for that time period. The men in the photo are wearing suits and top hats and have fancy mustaches and look well dressed, whereas he's there in a plain t-shirt. Due to the fact that he looks out of place, people have pegged him as a time traveler. He kind of reminds me of Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver though. In our 7th spot, we have the Hipster, another very popular photo that has been circulating online. So the photo contains a crowd of people in the 1940s at the reopening ceremony for the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia. Well, in this photo, everyone seems to be dressed up besides the man on the right hand side of the photo. Everyone else is in suits and top hats, and this tall man seems to be very out of place dressed like a hipster, hence why he was given that name. He can be seen sporting funky sunglasses, a graphic t-shirt, and of course is carrying a camera. Now, some believe that he is indeed a time traveler, whereas others have tried to debunk it. They claim that all the items he is seen wearing were available back in 1941 when the photo was taken. Either way, he looks pretty out of place. In our 6th spot, we have Greta Thunberg. I'm sure all of you have heard about Greta Thunberg, the young Swedish activist who is spreading the word about climate change. Well, there's a theory out there that Greta is actually a time traveler. This theory came to life after a photo of 3 children was uploaded to the internet. These children appeared to be at a gold mine on Dominion Creek in the Yukon. However, the one girl looks identical to Greta and is even wearing the same braided hairstyle. As a result, people believe that Greta is a time traveler sent from the future to save humanity before we completely destroy it. And then apparently she traveled back to 1898 to the Yukon before coming to the present moment. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the fence legend. So this one is more of a legend, but either way it makes for a good time traveling story. So legend goes that there was a 30-year-old man named Rudolph Fentz who was hit and injured by a New York taxi in the 1950s. His pockets contained a copper token for beer, a bill for the care of a horse, and a letter from 1876 among other unusual items. Turns out that this man was a person who disappeared in 1876 at the age of 29. Like I mentioned before, this is apparently a legend that originated from a 1951 short story book. But others believe that this is actually a cover-up, and that Rudolph Fentz was a real man who was a time traveler. Making our way down the list at number 4, we have the beach time traveler. What's something you would do if you could time travel? Maybe stop a tragedy from happening, save someone's life, or just chill at the beach getting some rays. Because That last one is exactly what this time traveler did. A photo from September 1943 apparently shows British factory workers enjoying their break on the beach during the midst of wartime. Everyone is seen wearing bathing suits that fit the era. But right in the middle of the photo is a man in a brown suit, who honestly looks like Mr. Bean. This dude is also checking something that looks like a phone. Some even say that he's checking his time travel device. People were really weirded out about this man because he sticks out like a sore thumb. As a result, he has been deemed a time traveler. Coming in our third spot, we have the film extra. In this next situation, a woman time traveled to be an extra in a Charlie Chaplin film. Or so it appears that way. In the 1928 film, a woman who appears to be taking a phone call can be seen crossing the screen. The video was in the behind the scenes footage from Chaplin's film, The Circus. The woman is in a long black coat and is holding something to her ear, which she is speaking into. Of course, in 1928 there were no cell phones, so how is this possible? 2 words: time travel. However, others believe that she is simply holding a hearing device to her ear, or that she's holding up her hand to shield her eyes from the sun. But that still doesn't explain why she appears to be talking to herself and holding the black rectangular object like a cell phone. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. In our second spot, we have the Canadian man. Now, this photo is pretty odd. The photo is over 100 years old and shows a bunch of dressed up Canadians chilling on a hill. Another Canadian time traveler. At first glance, everything appears to be normal, until you take a closer look. On the left side of the photo, there's a man on the hill that seems out of place. I mean, the men are dressed up in top hats and suits, and he's just chilling there in a t-shirt and shorts. In fact, the 2 men beside him are giving him a look like, who's this guy? As a result, people have referred to him as the surfing time traveler. Like seriously, he seems so out of place. But also, why would you choose that as your time traveling outfit? Like I'd pick something cool, like a leather jacket, you know, look all cool and edgy. And in our number 1 spot, we have the cell phone. Another time traveler caught using a cell phone. So if you're gonna go back in time, don't bring your phone. A film from 1938 shows a woman talking on a device that looks just like a cell phone. Again, how is that possible when the first mobile phone wasn't available to buy until around the 80s? After this video made headlines, a YouTube user came forward claiming that the lady in the video was her great-grandmother. She apparently asked her grandmother, whose name is Gertrude Smith, about the video, and she said that she really was using a cell phone. Apparently, the phones were a prototype developed by a communications factory in Massachusetts. Gertrude and 5 other women were given the phones to test out for a week. But it's still hard to believe that this company was way ahead of the times. When mobile phones were ready, they were big, not the small ones that fit comfortably in your hand as seen in the video. So it really does make us wonder, what's real and what's not? Honestly, it seems hard to believe, and Gertrude Smith seems like a made-up name. And it was never even confirmed if what this user said was true. So it may just be that time travel is real and Gertrude was not too sly and got caught in action.
Coming into number 10, we have W Man. What does the W stand for? William? Wallace? Women? Oaxaca? Oh, only our British audience will get this, but I really miss Oaxaca. Get me some sweet potato tacos immediately! Tacos probably weren't a thing in 1940s Canada when this picture was taken, although I bet Mr. W has eaten a few because look at him, he's a blatant time traveler hipster. A lot of people dub this guy the time traveling hipster, and he does certainly look like he would be better placed working in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, or Ubisoft. The picture was taken at the opening of South Fork Bridge, but it got the world's attention in 2010 at a photo exhibit. The guy is wearing sunnies and looks like he is holding a far more modern DSLR camera. Sadly, it does turn out that the letter on his shirt is actually an M for the Montreal Maroons, who played in the NHL from 1924 to 1938. So that being said, he could just be trying to blend in. Although to be honest with you, the rest of him's pretty standout. What do you guys think? Is he a time traveler? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Coming into number 9, we have Charlie Chaplin's time traveling extra. Take a look at this footage from Charlie Chaplin's 1928 movie Circus. If this footage was from the modern day, the first thing you would notice is that it's in black and white. You wouldn't pay any attention to the woman who is clearly on her mobile phone in the background walking behind a zebra. But This is 1928 and cell phones won't be readily available for another 70 so years. Even the early cell phones of the 1980s were chunky. This woman is clearly time traveling from the future, and judging by the size of her phone, I would say from the next millennium. This time traveler is caught on camera all the time. We have Nicolas Cage at number 8. Fun fact, Nicolas Cage has the same birthday as me. Second fun fact, did you know that the Academy Award and Golden Globe Award winning actor Nicolas Cage is indeed a time traveler? No? Well, he is. The actor uses a personally developed style of performance that he calls nouveau shamanic, which, I mean, sure. Maybe it's something that he's developed across the ages, as it seems that the film legend is indeed a time traveler. He's also fulfilled a lot of roles in history. Here he is as Mexican Emperor Maximilian I of Habsburgo, and here he is as an unidentified man from Bristol, Tennessee in 1870. The actor was forced to publicly deny it on Letterman. Spotted at the beach at number 7. So this picture here is a lovely snap of British war workers escaping the perils of their job for one much needed sunny day in 1943. The image was shared on Twitter and the poster was asking people to identify where the beach was. It turns out that the beach in question was Towan Beach in Cornwall, but more than the stretch of sand was identified here. It seemed that eagle-eyed viewers spotted a man on a smartphone in the middle of the picture. He could just be looking at something in his hand, but doesn't it look like he's on his phone? Honestly, to me it seems like he is so checking his phone. To me, it looks like he's just received a really confusing text from Bay and he's not sure how to respond. So phones feature heavily on this list, so do prepare yourself for more and even more shocking examples. But before we get to that, let me pose to you that Michael Jackson isn't actually dead, he's time traveling. Find out why I've drawn this conclusion at number 6. YouTube account Fact5 compiled a number of pictures that have shown the King of Pop popping up through history. So weird that this was never spotted until he died. It's like he's out there somewhere changing the future. Here's a painting of Michael from like, let's say the late 1700s, and then there's this Egyptian statue of him. Right. Roll up for another iPhone. This one comes 60 to 70ish years ahead of schedule. We have Henry Fonda's touchscreen at number 5. This clip is from the 1948 John Wayne movie Fort Apache, and there is a scene in which the character Lieutenant Colonel Owen Thursday, played by Henry Fonda, whips out his iPhone and goes over a list of names with his daughter Philadelphia, played by Shirley Temple. Check it out and tell me what you think. To me, he's holding that just like a slim iPhone X, although I feel like this is probably just a notebook. But it looks a lot like an iPhone. I don't know. What do you think? Coming into number 4, we have a time-traveling car. This time-traveling car has totally vexed the internet time and time again. This footage was allegedly caught on a Russian police officer's dashcam and features what can only be described as a time-traveling car. Is that the DeLorean? The footage starts as the car is turning left. We can see the traffic at a standstill, and then on the right, all of a sudden a car comes from nowhere. Like, seriously, nowhere. It's definitely the Doctor and Marty McFly. Oh, actually, let me slow this down for you and you can watch again because this is so crazy. Like, where did it come from? Time traveling! Uploaded by Rose Adams on YouTube, this video has been watched over 1 million times, and by the looks of the comments, a lot of people are just as confused as me. Okay, the teleporting or time traveling car did have me pretty convinced, although I am less sure about this one. At number 3, we have a time traveling hero. So this video was uploaded in September 2012 and has been watched a staggering 11 million times. In it, we see a super fast time traveling superhero come out of nowhere and rescue a guy on a motorbike who looks like he was about to be killed by an oncoming truck. Time traveler, teleporter, basically the same thing, right? Well, it turns out that actually this is a hoax, a viral marketing campaign for a Chinese game called Dragon Totem Girl. Wow. Okay, that may have been a hoax, but this seems very legit. We have this chatty factory worker at number 2. Watch out, here come the girls. This footage was shot in 1938 and is thought to be of factory workers leaving for the day. There they all are in their 1930s looking clothing, behaving as I would expect, until this lady comes along. Now to me, she very much looks like she's holding an early 2000s flip phone. I remember those. So good. Something really satisfactory about flipping a phone. Seriously though, look at her. What else could she be doing? She seems to be engaging with the phone as if she's talking to someone, and she's smiling but not at the woman next to her. According to a video that Danny made earlier about time travelers, in 2013, a woman came forward in the comments section of the video to say that she was the great-granddaughter of this woman. She says her name was Gertrude. She said that Gertrude was actually part of a science and tech experiment to test a wireless phone, although, like, really, there isn't that much scientific evidence to back that up at all. And since then, the comment section has been axed. What does this mean? Finally, coming into number 1, we have something strange happening in the background of a 1995 Mike Tyson fight. Whoa, 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 absolute smartphone alert. So this was a fight between Tyson and Peter McNeely that went down in Vegas in 1995. Yes, there were mobile phones in 95, but not smartphones. Smartphones only entered the market in and around 2007. Before that, phone cameras were total garbage. This clearly looks like a white Android phone from after 2014 with at least a 12 megapixel camera. We could only dream of 12 megapixels in the 90s. This footage is legit, and knowing our generation who can't be separated from their phones, if they were to time travel back to see a Mike Tyson fight, many people would be tempted to whip out their phones even if their time traveling was supposed to be a secret. Well, honestly, we caught you, mate.
Starting off this countdown, we have Andy and Daniel. Take a look at the people here and tell me that that is not Andy Samberg and Daniel Radcliffe. Don't see a resemblance? Well, take a look at them side by side. Bam! Someone discovered this photo. I'm assuming in like an old yearbook. I could be wrong, but then they uploaded it online. From there, thousands of people were liking and commenting on it, agreeing that they look an awful lot like those two actors. I mean, they're posing the exact same in everything. It's way too freaky. Like, did Harry Potter use a time turner to go back in time or what? Either that or those are the men's real fathers. I just can't stop staring at the photo, like it's too eerie. Coming in at number 9, we have Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is a well-known comedian and talk show host, and now, apparently time traveler. Take a look at this photo. The man on the left is Marxist revolutionary leader Mahir Khayyam. Mahir passed away in 1972. When was Jimmy born? September 1974. Just 2 years later. So either reincarnation is real or he's a time traveler. Maybe Jimmy felt like he needed to go back in time and try and make a difference in society. Or that's just his long-lost family member. Coming in at number 8, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Famous painter Leonardo da Vinci is also believed to be a time traveler. In fact, a lot of people have said that he was ahead of his time. Maybe, quite literally. Maybe he came from the future, you know what I'm saying? One theory is that he went back in time to steal other people's accomplishments or to help advance the world. This dude was a genius. He knew more things than anyone else did in that time period. For example, Da Vinci drew pictures of a helicopter in 1493, okay? That's hundreds of years before an actual helicopter was created. But not only that, he had the idea for an armored fighting vehicle, aka tanks. And he also invented the idea of a submarine. He talked about ships that could travel underwater, and even sketched designs of them. So Da Vinci somehow came up with all these modern day inventions and more. How? Because he's a time traveler. Boom, mic drop. In our 7th spot, we have Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin went back in time to become the 13th president of the United States, Millard Fillmore. I guess he was like, hey, if Donald Trump can do it, so can I. Let me just borrow this time machine real quick and go back in time and run for presidency. Or something like that. Like, come on, the two look so eerily similar in every photo. We need to get Ancestry DNA to do some research. Maybe they're related somewhere along the line. Or Alec Baldwin learned how to time travel. Coming in at number 6, we have Queen Latifah. Take a look at African-American novelist Zora Neale Hurston. A lot of people have noticed that she looks like Queen Latifah's twin. Seriously, the resemblance is crazy, especially since they both like wearing wide-brimmed hats. Coincidence? I think not. Hurston is said to be one of the most important black writers in all of American literature. She wrote a number of powerful pieces, including her most famous work, Their Eyes Were Watching God. A lot of people are now saying that Latifah should play Hurston in a movie about her life. I mean, it seems fitting. Or maybe Queen Latifah is a time traveler and then she would just end up playing herself in that movie, technically. It's crazy. They look so much alike. In our 5th spot today, we have Nicolas Cage. There's a man from the 19th century that looks pretty similar to this Academy Award-winning actor and America's national treasure. The photo was taken in 1870 and features a Tennessee man dressed in a snazzy outfit. The photo was found in the back of an album of death portraits. But did the man really die? Or did he just leave that time period and come back to this time period? Think about it. What's even crazier though is that this photo is currently being listed on eBay for $1 million. I don't know who would buy that, but it could be real photographic evidence that Nick Cage is a time traveler. Moving on to number 4, we have Justin Timberlake. American singer-songwriter Justin Timberlake is another celebrity believed to be a time traveler. Take a look at this photo of a man from the past. That is his doppelganger. Sadly, we don't know much about this mystery man. One post said that he was a criminal from back in the day, whereas another post said that he was a minor. I'm not sure. Maybe he was a criminal and a minor that, committed crimes. Who knows? Why would Justin go back in time to be a minor or to commit crimes? Doesn't really make sense. Maybe he was just trying to bring sexy back. See what I did there? I just can't stop this feeling that he's a time traveler. It's almost like he goes around and comes around. Sorry, I'll stop with the puns, but seriously, this one is pretty freaky. Coming in at number 3, we have Jack Black. This one is honestly the funniest one on this list. Jack Black is talented when he has a successful acting career currently, and also way back in the day in Italy. So this old Italian poster literally looks like it has Jack Black on the cover. Like, excuse me? They have the same facial expression and everything. Does that mean that Jack Black went back in time so he could be a famous actor in Italy, or what? Maybe this was his way to do research for one of the films he was in, to really get into character. Who knows at this point? Jack Black is a time traveler, okay? Moving on to number 2, we have Anne Hathaway. Okay, this is another really freaking trippy one. So people have pointed out that actress Anne Hathaway's husband looks a lot like William Shakespeare. Okay, I see the resemblance, they're correct, but guess what? William Shakespeare's wife's name was literally Anne Hathaway. Like, mind blow. Coincidence? I think not. Time travelers confirmed. I mean, she could have at least used a different name to make it less suspicious. Like, come on now. I'm just kidding. But either they both reincarnated and found each other again, or they're time travelers. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Donald Trump. Okay, buckle your seatbelts. I'm not even kidding when I say that Donald Trump might be a time traveler. Just wait until you see this evidence. Basically, someone discovered 2 books on the Office of Congress Library website. The books are called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900, or The Last President. Both were written in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. Now, hold on one second. What's Donald Trump's son's name? Barron Trump, okay? But that's not the only spooky coincidence. The book Barron Trump is about a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travels. At one point in the book, he is guided by a man named Don, aka Donald, aka Donald Trump. And then in the book, The Last President, it's about an unlikely presidential candidate that won the election. Sound familiar? Even freakier, the book talks about the Fifth Avenue Hotel. The address of the hotel in the book is the exact same address where Trump's tower currently stands. But wait, there's more. In this book, there's a character named Laff Pence, who is the Secretary of Agriculture. Hello? The ex-vice president's name was Mike Pence. Come on guys, there's just too many similarities between the books and Donald Trump's life. So, people believe that this book was actually written about Trump and his family, all of whom are time travelers.